I have said it before and I'm going to say it again. I am so sick of this. Nancy Pelosi and Mitch McConnell, two career politicians that are caught up in their own political careers and they just don't give a about us. You know, us, the people, the one they are sworn to serve. It is time that we drain the swamp from both parties and send these old fuddy-duddies out to pasture. New stimulus checks, a second round of PPP funding, and improved unemployment benefits are a must to keep this economy afloat during the pandemic until it is all finally over. So what is it that we can actually expect? I have read countless news articles, watched multiple interviews, and read various proposals from different members of Congress. And this is where I believe we are heading with the next stimulus package. All this and more in today's video. Hello and welcome to Stephen Carlson Show. I'm Stephen Carlson. I'm a tech entrepreneur, real estate investor, author, YouTuber, and volunteer paramedic. Now, before I get into today's video, please guys, I really need your help. Please comment down below with hashtag Team Idle and share this video everywhere. Facebook, Twitter, text it to your friends, email it to the local news stations, blast your politicians. We need to get the word out and demand that Congress finally do something about this complete cluster that they have created. Make it clear that we need our $10,000 stimulus grant that the CARES Act promise. Also, don't forget to check out Webull using the link in the description and claim your 2 free stocks, with one of those stocks being valued up to $1,400 when you deposit $100 in their platform. Doing so also supports this channel. Thank you. As the election approaches, both political parties, they need a win. Now, unfortunately, in the swamp, this means it's better to sabotage your competitor's plan and stonewall any progress so that you can just blame the other guy, rather than make any inroads that actually help us people. Senator Mark Warner of Virginia joins Tim Kaine in co-sponsoring the EIDL for Small Business Act. That's S.4227. There are now almost 30 senators, which represent almost half of the entire country, openly supporting this bill. And they want an additional $80 billion for EIDL cash advances and $100 billion for the loan program, and this should all be part of the next COVID stimulus relief plan. There has even been some rumblings from a few members in Congress about making the entire EIDL program, including the loan, completely forgivable as long as businesses continue to pay their employees. Now, I have already covered S.4227 in more detail in a few previous videos. The links will be in the description and in the card above. A quick summary for those that aren't familiar: it's the Ensuring Increased Disaster Loan EIDL for Small Business Act, S.4227. This would provide $100 billion in appropriations for EIDL, provide $80 billion in appropriations for EIDL Advance, would prohibit the SBA Administrator, that's Jovita Carranza, from placing any cap below the $2 million loan. Currently, they're capping it at $150 in direct violation of the law. This new act would tell the SBA you're not allowed to change that. The law is the loan is up to $2 million and don't change it, Jovita. This would also prevent her from making any other limitations on the advance. And every business is entitled to the full $10,000, not just $1,000 per employee as Jovita wanted to do. It would also require that all of the advances would be dispersed to eligible businesses within 3 days of asking. Not this, we'll get to it when we get to it, BS that she keeps pulling. And guys, this is exactly what we're fighting for. This pandemic has shut down our businesses for most of 2020. Yet, only a small, lucky percentage of small businesses have actually received any financial help. And many of them are just being completely denied for the EIDL grant or loan assistance. For the ones that did receive assistance, none of them ever got the full $10,000 grant they were supposed to, and most of them were capped at the $150,000 loan even when they were legally entitled up to $2 million, based upon their revenues, of course. Now, for any of you guys that have already applied and you've been denied or just completely ignored for months, Jason has some information on how to send an appeal for reconsideration. I've also covered this in great detail in one of my other videos. I'll link to that video as well down in the description.
How the hell are you going to get more? It's tough, but I'll explain what I've learned throughout my own reconsideration over the last 2 months. All right, grab a pen and paper, pull up a chair, here we go. Reconsideration for denial, which is the vast majority of reconsiderations that I keep getting asked. Please note, 98+% of denials are computer generated. Don't take it personally. Knock on wood. I don't have any wood in the truck here, but I'm knocking on the console. I've never lost a reconsideration for denial on a friend of mine or a colleague that I've helped with the EIDL loan related to the SBA. Not one. Knocking on wood again. It is a computer generated denial. If you have a credit score north of 570 and you are legitimate, and with all the fraud going on, you're going to have to prove that at some point with a reconsideration, you have an excellent chance. I would estimate a 95% chance of winning if you provide the following documents and do exactly what I'm going to tell you. Here's what you have to do in the subject line. Reconsideration for denial, and then your app number. And by the way, it takes 6 weeks. So once you apply one time, you got to wait 6 weeks. They're walled off. You can't call a reconsideration loan officer. They're walled off intentionally. You can make a note on your account, but they won't see it. You can call a tier 2 supervisor, but they won't talk to them. They're walled off intentionally. So apply one time. The reason many of you keep seeing they keep asking me for more documents, it's because you keep responding to them and it starts all over.
When you send in your reconsideration appeals, remember you must wait 6 weeks and just hope and pray that you're still in business after the 6 weeks is up. Now, of course, the lawyers I keep chained up in my basement want me to make it clear that I'm not an attorney or pretty much anything important. I'm just some random dude on the internet. But honestly, I think it's time that we have a massive class action lawsuit against the SBA. Think about it. The government demanded that we shut down our businesses for the greater good because of the pandemic. Now, I'm not going to argue for or against the initial shutdown, but it is clear that we've been shut down long enough and it's time for us to reopen our businesses if we could even reopen. This was forced upon us by the government under threat of arrest if we dared to reopen our business in violation of their edicts. And for this reason, it should be incumbent upon the government to make us whole during this time where we were forbidden from running our businesses at full capacity. Now, I'm going to make it clear. I don't think it's a massive conspiracy or malice by the SBA and the government that they screwed up the EIDL program. It's just how the government works with their massive bureaucracy and red tape. Months ago, I proposed a much simpler EIDL program that I really wish someone would have listened to. In summary, that plan would have worked this way. A simple SBA online application that asks your business name, address, tax ID number, etc. Very simple form. After submitting this application to the SBA, you will be given a PDF document for you to print and take this with a confirmation number over to your bank. With this document, you, as the business owner, would go to whatever bank that you currently have your business checking account with, and they will be able to verify that you are who you say you are. Think of it this way. They've already verified you when you opened your bank account. They will now be able to notarize your application with a medallion. And that's a very special type of notary that only banks and financial institutions give. Thus, this will help reduce a lot of fraud. Then, you will take this notarized document and you will fax it or email it back to the SBA. The SBA can use this information along with your tax returns, they can get that from the IRS, to find the average monthly revenue for your business. Then, for every month that the pandemic has kept your business open, you'll get a direct deposit into your checking account that month for the amount of revenue you historically would have made. It's really that simple. Whatever money you should have made that month, $10,000, $20,000, $100,000, whatever you should have made that month, they will give you as a grant to keep your business open. It's pretty simple. Well, there is one additional step. The monthly deposits that the SBA will be giving you is to basically bring you up to your regular operating levels so that you can keep your employees on the payroll. You can pay your rent, your mortgages, your bills, etc. Now, failure to pay your employees and to pay your bills will cause the SBA's EIDL funds to be a loan instead of a grant. As long as you pay everybody and keep the economy going, the money's free. It's a grant. Yes, of course, there'll still be some abuse of the system, but overall, this would have fixed most of the problems in our economy that we're facing right now. Think of it this way, everyone would still have their paycheck, so there would be no need for increased unemployment benefits. There would be no need for any rent or eviction moratorium because, once again, everybody's getting their paycheck. There'd be no need for mortgage forbearance because, yep, you guessed it, everybody would be getting their paychecks. It will be as if nothing ever happened. The pandemic didn't matter. Yes, we were shut down, but everybody's bills still got paid the same they would have. Nothing changed. Instead, they decided to only give businesses a few measly weeks of their revenue and expect them to continue to pay everybody. That forced millions of people to go on unemployment, causing the need for unemployment benefits, causing the need for additional other programs. It was just this snowball effect. I'm really not sure why the government could not have come up with something as simple as what I proposed. Instead, they allowed bureaucrats to basically screw everything up, and now millions have no paychecks, hundreds of thousands of businesses are bankrupt, millions of renters did not pay rent or their mortgage this month, and soon many landlords will end up losing their properties to foreclosure, thus creating a foreclosure bubble and problem upon the real estate market. This just gets worse and worse because Congress refused to act and refused to do something that was logical. I know, government do something logical, never mind. Thank you very much for watching. Please make sure you click like and subscribe. Doing so really helps with the YouTube algorithm. Thanks, and I'll see you on the next one.